you guys of tyranny. How would you respond to that?
I would say that that is not normal language. We are in a democracy. We are participating every day here in a democratic exercise. We're voting on budgets. We're passing laws. We're debating them in a completely conventional way. The language being applied to situations in Canada is not normal. These people find advantage somehow, for some reason, in getting people all jacked up. This leader of the opposition is using terms and terminology that should not be part of our discourse, and we should not normalize it. Thank you very much.
To a point where you can bring Parliament back to a functioning state. Right now, it is not functioning. What is
well,
it?
what's not functioning about it? What is not functioning is that the Conservatives...
But what part of this, what part responsibility do you guys take on the government benches for letting it get to this state, and how do you get it back to a place where Canadians can look at Parliament and say, that works?
I would say to you that any objective analysis of this situation, would take you to the extreme terminology and language and tactics that are being used by the right wing in this country and that have unfortunately been imported into this chamber by Conservatives in this country. This is violent rhetoric. This is damaging rhetoric. This is meant to provoke extreme reactions. And we hope that the Conservatives come back to normal. Thank you very much.
All right, so let me explain what's going on here. If you're just joining us, that was Steve MacKinnon. He is the government House Leader, in charge of the government's priorities inside of the House of Commons. So we saw a very dramatic scene, pretty unprecedented, about half an hour ago. The leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Pierre Poilievre, was removed, told to leave the House of Commons over language he was using. He was asking questions of the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, as question period does pretty much every day from Ottawa, and he used the term wacko, and the Speaker stood up and said, it's not proper language in this chamber, basically. You've got to withdraw that term. Poilievre refused to do that, and then he changed the language from wacko to extremist. That was not good enough for the Speaker. He demanded that Poilievre withdraw the term wacko, which Poilievre didn't do. So then he was told he had to leave the House of Commons, which he did, and then the rest of his party stood up as well, and they left. So we've never seen this before, certainly not in recent memory that I can remember, seeing an entire party stand up and leave the House of Commons after their leader has been ejected. You heard Steve MacKinnon there saying, Poilievre is guilty of using violent language. This is not the kind of thing we should be hearing in the House of Commons in Canada. This is un-Canadian, that kind of thing. Of course, the Conservatives will have a very different perspective, and we may well hear from them because no doubt they are going to want to speak to the media about what just happened to their leader.